Since 1982, each year an average of 36,000 Americans have died at the hands of firearms, but the most problematic in recent years has been mass shootings. We know this is an important obstacle to overcome. Mass shootings have made feeling safe in public nearly impossible for most people. What can we what can be done to lower the risks of these tragedies though? Since 1982, 80% of mass shootings have happened with a legally obtained gun. Therefore, there should be a different approach for the requirements needed to obtain a gun. More in-depth background checks and tests to make sure the customer is mentally capable of having the responsibility for a firearm would be a great start. Doing so would prevent mass shooters that are mentally unstable from attaining a gun, making the likelihood of mass shootings lower. Gun violence has been one of the country's most debated topics in recent years due to the increasing numbers of mass shootings. Statista, the website, tells us the statistic out of 100 mass shootings, 80% of the incidents, the shooters had their guns legally. What this means is that guns are easy to attain, and many people already have a firearm at arm's reach. If the shooter has a sort of mental lapse as well as a firearm, the result of the shooter's impulsive decision could risk the lives of many innocent people. If there was no weapon at hand and the process of getting one legally was much more in-depth and time-consuming, the shooter would presumably find another outlet or possibly help, resulting in less destruction. Now that the ill has been described, I will follow with the blame. The blame in this case is structural, given the ethical, moral, and legality of the situation is wrong. The average mass shooter has multiple mental illnesses resulting from different variables like abuse, neglect, and mental defects, resulting in the unusual process of emotions. This means that the shooter might know people think it's wrong, but they themselves cannot differentiate their emotional response to right or wrong. The previous mental issues talked about does not directly refer to someone with a diagnosed disease. Possibilities could include different variables that cause cognitive issues. The article Public Safety, Mental Disorder, and Guns by Paul S. Applebaum, medical doctor, states much of the increased risk of violence in people with mental disorders is attributed to the other variables rather than to the disorder themselves. Substance abuse, for an example, accounts for a large proportion of incremental risk. Backing up my previous claim, now that I have proven where the blame lies, I will discuss the beneficial solutions to these issues. My proposed solution to this problem is getting the shooter help before the impulsive need to cause as much pain to other people as possible. Whether the help is to get them off drugs or helping them solve their emotional struggles, it would greatly reduce the amount of mass shootings. It is proven that cognitive behavioral therapy can help prevent many of these issues. An article written by Tammy Holt from the National Institute of Justice stated, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, has since found its way into nearly every aspect of the judicial system, often supplementing or displacing other programs and interventions. Practitioners today use CBT to reduce recidivism among adults and juveniles, help victims deal with the aftermath of crimes, and address substance abuse, depression, violence, and other problematic behavior. Implanting a system for people that are known to be violent or have previous violent crimes would be a good and a better way to get a grasp on the population's mental health. Now that I have discussed the plan of action, I will be addressing the costs and benefits of this plan. Creating such a system that was previously demonstrated would cost money, as does everything. This could possibly make people upset and against such an idea. Although it does cost money to implement these plans, which could upset people, making them against a situation, even though it does cost money, not implementing this system could cause someone that they know or love to lose their life. implementing the previous as well as a series of tests that can determine the mental stability of someone, then determining if they are responsible enough to attain a weapon. Today I address the reasons behind how easy it is to attain a weapon and why that should be fixed, as well as discussing what can be done to prevent acts of gun violence. As a country feeling of sa- as our country's feeling of safety and well-being while having fun in public has diminished greatly, we as a country need to help implement these ideas of therapy and gun control to reduce mass shootings.